many fans here in Nesse.
Hello disc golfers and welcome to the final round of the Åland Open for the FPO division. Welcome to this coverage provided by MDG Media. My name is Elias Luukkonen and I will be taking you through this final round. As we take a look at the situation, it looks like mostly a two-horse race as Heidi Laine is leading by 3 strokes over Silva Saarinen. Both have been incredibly hot players for this season. Both have multiple wins. First up, Heidi Laine here. I believe the 3rd highest rated Finnish FPO player right now. And Silva right up there. Also easily in the top 5. A little bit of different playing styles. Heidi Laine more known for her big drives, and Silva more known for her extremely strong mental game and especially strong putting. And then, young up-and-coming player from Norway, Ida, has been very promising this season. A lot of good highlights. I believe she made the lead card at PCS Open at her first Elite Series event. And Hanna Jansson finalizing the lead card here. I don't know the person super well, but well played to get to the lead card. Starting on hole 1 here. Hole 1, it's not a super difficult starting hole. You're going over this bit of a ridgeline, so it's a blind hole. You can't see the basket quite from the tee. Maybe if you jump a little bit you could. It's pretty much a straight shot, even though the basket is slightly on the left side. It might be deceiving to some players. It's truly a straight shot with the right to left sloping hillside next to the basket, usually collecting discs that are flying straight to be pretty much parked.
Dash Discs, Friba Store and Vivokauppa. Heidi Laine.
And Heidi Laine playing a 5 under first round, but only a 1 under second round. I'm sure today she's aiming more towards that 5 under mark. Very low shot there. It's important on this hole to keep your shot low to avoid the late low ceiling. But that was a little bit too low there.
Next up on the tee, give a warm welcome to Silva Saarinen.
This hole is actually playing as the 3rd easiest hole on the course. It's still playing above par, so seeing that the course is playing pretty difficult for the field. And you can see why, both Heidi and Silva with pretty good looking shots, but neither of them quite perfect.
Sponsored by aceshop.as. Ida, Emilie, Nesse.
And Ida here, very exciting player to watch. As I mentioned, she has shown some very promising efforts throughout the season. Kind of fading too far to the left on this one. There is that left side OB that fortunately does not come into play for her.
And the final player of the FPO class. Let's give a warm welcome to, sponsored by Kasta Plus, Disc Expressen and European Birdies, Hanna Jansson.
And Hanna here. Looks like the players might have even some nerves on this hole one. It's a big tournament, one of the biggest tournaments in Europe actually. Though this was the first time ever that the Åland Open was held. And definitely the first big tournament in Åland. It was a big thing for the entirety of the Åland Islands and especially for the local club. They truly did a huge job to hold a great event here, one of the smoothest of the year. As we see Hanna there. Just putting it inside the circle. That left side is pretty tough. Fortunately Silva has the hyzer angle around, which makes for an easy upshot for her. Ida gonna do the same. And very interesting to see whether Heidi decides to go for her putt or not. Because she has that circle 2 look downhill into the slightly elevated basket. And even the green sloping a little bit right to left. Very good run. Pretty aggressive run, even though left a little bit low. That is good to see. Heidi has some good confidence going into this final round, and talking about confidence. Very solid par putt from Hanna. Looks like we're gonna have a lot of pars on the first hole. It was actually a surprisingly seldomly birdied hole with only a single birdie in the field. Shout out to Jenny Karppinen for getting that birdie. Pretty surprising. I'm sure all of these players and pretty much everybody in the field was going for the birdie, but just showing off that you need to be quite precise. And talking about precise, hole 2. Another, not a very long par 3, but you need a lot of good angle control and height control. I believe there is 3 big elements to this hole. It's the first gap you have to hit. Second element is the low ceiling, and the third element being that you have to move so far left that a normal air shot will not do it. You either need to get some extra glide with a very steep hyzer angle and understable disc, or going with something more overstable and trying to get a big skip. Heidi here going for the ladder, but that's just so easy to do on this hole. It's very easy to push it too far straight, not get that left movement early enough, because the disc does need to move left pretty early, well before the halfway point of the flight. Same miss from Silva there. I believe going long on the drive compared to going tight left is still the better miss, because from there you have a good angle to approach from. Ida there with a much more aggressive angle. I really like the line, but still pushing it a little bit to that long side guardian. Really the hit that, the tree that Ida hit can be, you can go either long or short side of it, but if you just hit it, it's not gonna be good. It's kind of in the middle of the line. And Hanna there also going inside, which good correction by the 2 last players. Let's say pretty simple approaches here. It's only about 30 or 35 meters to the basket, or less for everybody on the card. Hanna has done it pretty well. That's a good chance for us to see some of Ida's touch, and looks like the forehand touch is also quite well on point. Very smooth looking release there. This was actually another hole that was birdied only once by the field. We'll see whether It's not gonna be Heidi, but Silva still has a possible chance. She's known for her long putts, so can't really count her out from any distance. She had a very tough scramble there, not really able to give it a run. The one birdie on the hole once again was Jenni Karppinen, shout out. Same person who also birdied hole 1, Silva here. Very good looking putt. That is what we expect from her. She's one of the better, if not the best putter in Europe right now. Has a very casual stroke. Rarely looks like she's nervous on the green. Hanna here, just a short 4-meter putt. Still good to get those in on the first holes. This hole was playing much more difficult than hole 1, with the same amount of birdies, but hugely more bogeys on the hole. Actually 50% of the field getting a bogey on this one. So, well managed by our card not to take any of those. And we still have a clean scorecard throughout the board. Nobody has got a single bogey yet. And if we can keep the same up for hole 3, it's gonna be great. There's a lot of things that can happen on this one. It's 140 meters. A short par 4. You have 2 gaps off the tee. You can either take this straight gap that the drone is flying, or many players are also taking the bigger hyzer gap to the right. Then if you throw the perfect drive and stay straight enough, you have this left side fairway, which is straight to an hyzer shot. But if you push a little bit too far on the drive, you have the backside fairway, which shapes much better for a flex forehand. The green here, pretty treacherous. Usually not for putting, but for rollaways, yes. We see a lot of times people hit those rocks and rolling 10, even 20 meters away down the hill. Heidi going for the straight gap, and that was actually a pretty fortunate tree kick, because it took a lot of speed off the disc, and now she might actually still have that short gap available for the approach, which is ideal if you want the best angle to the green. And Silva, very similar shot. Beautiful distance control there. I think both Heidi and Silva are just barely long off the short gap, but might still have an angle to it. We'll have to see pretty soon. And Ida here, also a very good angle. But she's also gone past the first gap, so now Ida will have a pretty significant decision to make, whether she still wants to stretch and go for that first one, or go for the backside. Hanna there, just unfortunate low release. The ridge that you're going over on the drive is pretty high. It's well over the heads of these players. So it does bring in some uncomfortability. And from here, she's just trying to get to the perfect spot, to the sweet spot for the drive, which she does pretty well. That's going to open up the backside of the fairway. We have a great look at it now. But with the backhand that Hanna is going, you need to kind of flip it up and hold it straight, which looks like she has done just beautifully. Wow, what a perfect shot there. Inside of 5 meters there, that's a great result, especially with the backhand. The backhand is super difficult from that position. And looks like Silva is still going for the backside fairway here. Doesn't have the angle for the flip up, so she's gonna have to play for a longer putt. Does not quite get through though. A longer putt is what she is going to have. Probably even longer than what she was looking for. This is the best shaped play for the hole. In pretty good shape there. You can see Ida pulled it a little bit inside. Still well within putting distance, although from her angle the green is going to be sloping away right to left and also downhill. So pretty tricky putt coming up. Heidi with a tricky angle, having to go with the patent pending shot. And once again the fairway is kind of sloping right to left. So pulling the disc also towards the left. And that was just a terrible position. Just able to pitch up. Hopefully pitching up here again. Which she does well. So it's going to be at least one stroke to Silva. If she can just get up and down from here. So the game is getting tighter. Heidi's gonna have the first bogey on the card. But first Ida here. For the birdie, what a putt, perfectly in the middle, making that basket look huge. Very well-rounded game. I love to see that forehand approach. It's really the best shot for this hole, even though Hanna here showing that the backhand can work as well. That's an incredible par save from where her drive was. She only got about 15 meters or 20 meters from the tee. Still able to get that par. And Heidi gonna get the first bogey off the card. Still going back to last hole, Ida's birdie was actually the only in the field, so well done to Ida. Moving on to hole 4. Very steeply uphill playing hole, probably even steeper than the video shows. It's only 77 meters in distance, but probably at least 10 meters uphill, so playing closer to 100. This is kind of shaped similar to hole 1, so it's a straight shot with just the slightest left finish. Once again, many players are kind of convinced to going for a hyzer shot, but it's really a straight shot that just at the end fades a little bit. It's also a pretty good test for the arm speed of the players to see whether they have the arm speed to reach the hole. Looks like Ida there had pretty good speed on the disc, but just coming off a little bit low. I believe today there was a slight bit of a tailwind on this hole. So making that uphill slope even a little bit more awkward. That was a perfect line from Silva. And you can see, she threw it perfectly flat, even getting a slight turn to the right before fading back left, and she's still in the circle. Hanna doing a common mistake on this hole. For some reason it's surprisingly difficult to hit this gap. I've seen plenty of players missing it, even though it's a wide gap. On video it looks a little bit tighter, but it's actually a pretty wide gap. And Heidi here, what a nice looking shot inside the bullseye, beautiful. Taking some of that distance advantage. I'm sure Heidi is very comfortable with this distance, not even having to go full power, but rather just throwing a normal shot. Hanna there, gonna have a good par save. Once again, not an ideal drive off the tee, but gonna still have to take that par. Let's see Ida for another great putt, not quite this time. And Silva from inside the circle, perfect putt on the pole. Not gonna give a stroke to Heidi. I feel like this is a pretty good separator hole. For the best players in the field, it's not very difficult. but for a lot of the field it's almost unreachable. It was playing as the second easiest hole though, so the separation that I was talking about is mostly between birdies and pars. Only one player taking a score above a par on this hole. Nice to see 2 birdies by the card there, both Silva and Heidi extending their lead over the field. Moving on to hole 5 here. It's a longer par 4 this time, 160 meters. Still not very long on paper, but as it is playing uphill for the whole way, plays probably closer to 180. Off the drive, you're trying to stay straight on the fairway and hopefully take just the smallest turn towards the right to open up your angle to hopefully have a great approach to the green. The approach is playing uphill. The drive is playing slightly uphill, but the approach is playing a little bit more uphill. It suits very well for a straight to overstable forehand. Silva with the good looking line, kind of fading out at the end. She's gonna be on the left side of the fairway, which might kind of close some of that angle that she has to the green. So might even be the case that she has to play for the par from there. And Heidi here trying to correct on that mistake, rather turning it over too much and getting a tree kick to get to the same position. Both of them will either need to throw a big flex forehand or have to settle for a long putt or just a par. Ida here. Very nice angle and keeping the disc low. Even those couple of meters of difference between Heidi and Silva and Ida might be the determining factor whether Ida can actually go for the basket or not. And as we see another shot on the left side, I'm a little bit surprised that the players are not trying to turn it over more to the right. Possibly just acknowledging the fact that it's a pretty good hole to take a par on. As we see Hanna here, not interested in going for the green. That is pretty much the best case scenario from there. Gonna have a long putt or just a short approach. Gonna be a pretty easy par. And Silva kind of pushing that towards the right side. She's still gonna have plenty of trees to contend with. Really want to be left on this approach if you're not going for the green. Heidi possibly kind of trying to go for it. I appreciate the aggressiveness. Didn't quite flex out, but she should be far enough around the corner where she's gonna have an easy approach. And Ida there, also kind of on the right side. Looks like she's having to go through the trees. There is some pretty big gaps here. Only a couple of trees to miss. Which she does not miss the last one, but still well within putting distance. You can see Silva has the same gap. Hits it perfectly though. Even a little bit too far. Gonna have a putt for the par, which is kind of what you want on this one. It's the 4th most difficult hole on the course. Playing half a stroke above par on average. Heidi here with a huge putt for the birdie though. This would go a long way. Good line there, not quite to be. There was actually no birdies on the hole today. So if these players can just make their par putts, as Silva does, another very good putt there. With pars, they're not going to lose strokes to anyone. It's actually pretty interesting scoring separation on this one. 50% of the field was getting pars and 50% was getting bogeys, but no other scores were taken. So really separating mostly the better and the lower rated players in the field. Most of the better rated and better positioned players in the field getting pars. and most of the weaker players getting bogeys. Moving on to the longest hole on the front 9. Hole 6 is a par 5, playing at 223 meters. Starting off with not the tightest woods, there's a lot of space between the trees. Pretty much you just have to get forward as far as you can. Don't turn yourself into the right side woods, and from there, pretty much the same mission. Try to stay on the fairway, hopefully more left than right, because the right side woods once again are much thicker than the left side woods. If you execute 2 shots on the fairway or near the fairway, you're gonna have a relatively short approach to this very difficult green. It's super sloping behind the green. Only a couple of meters behind the basket, you already are dropping meter or 2 down. Here, Silva is doing the good mistake to make, which is to fade out left. You really rather be left than right to open up that angle, and as I said, to avoid those right side trees. And Heidi with a similar miss. There is an OB island on that left side, which might come into play for Heidi, but I feel like she has missed it, so should be inbounds. And Ida also fading out to the left. Looks like everybody has learned their lesson. We saw some more players turning it over to the right in the first round. And that was not an ideal position, so everybody on the card looks to be pretty far left. The only problem with being more left is gonna be that you have more distance to the green. So Hanna, for example, here probably has still about 160 meters to go. That's a pretty decent shot here. Heidi next, trying to push this hyzer forward. Looks like she's perfectly on the fairway, getting some funny action from the rocks. It's one of the rockier fairways on the course. Pretty unpredictable. You can't really know whether your disc is gonna be skipping or rolling or just sitting right there. And Ida there, very good shot, but gonna be tough footing for the third. Interested to see whether she even has a good shot to the green. The angle is perfect and the position is perfect, but the footing is nowhere near perfect. And Silva here, pushing it just a little bit further than everybody else. Good shot there. Very clean play by the card here. It's a very long hole. You can see it's mostly just chipping off that distance, staying on the fairway. Hanna here has by far the toughest angle. Able to progress pretty well down the fairway. Still gonna have some work left to do. But this is really the shot that makes the hole. You need to land your disc soft and ideally just a little bit short of the basket. And short is what Heidi Laine has done. She's a little bit too short though. Gonna have a scary putt. I would be surprised if she was actually running that putt. Not many players are trying to run it from outside the circle on this one. Let's see if Ida can get closer. She does. A little bit closer, still gonna be a scary putt. I think this is the scariest, most difficult green on the course. As Silva makes easy work of that beautiful anhyzer. Able to land it flat, showcasing some good angle control, not to skip far away. And Hanna there also with a pretty good skip off the rock. Gonna be just 4 meters. And Heidi there, still comfortable with the lead, comfortable enough not to run that putt, which I think is smart. And Ida there, that's a good miss. You know, not getting any rollaways on this hole while missing is actually pretty special. Almost every time you miss, unless you miss on the short side bouncing from the cage. or from the top band and bouncing straight backwards to this flat part of the green, you're almost always rolling away. But everybody now close enough to not make that a problem. And Silva Saarinen, even with a birdie, starting off pretty well, going 2 under in the first 6 holes. The front 9 for the majority of the field is a good place to score, because the holes are a little bit shorter than on the back 9. Back 9 is gonna be more open and longer holes. Next up, hole 7. Very difficult hole to birdie. It's 108 meters, laying slightly uphill and over this bit of a ridge, so it's a blind hole, you can't see the basket from the tee. The perfect shape for the hole is a hard thrown driver that turns over after the halfway point of the fairway and takes even the slightest fade at the end. It's not a pure anhyzer, you need that small fade at the end if you want to be parked. But it's a very difficult hole to be in the circle for. Silva here, doing her best though. Kind of going inside of the last tree. What a great shot! She's absolutely parked and even cutting the corner. You can see she went inside of the last tree that you're trying to go around. Very fortunate break there. And that's a lot of pressure on Heidi now. She has a very suitable game for this hole though. And what a beautiful shot. Look at that. Both Silva and Heidi inside the circle, showing off their distance. A lot of players in the field that don't have the opportunity to do the same. Looks like Ida has got some decent power, turning it over a little bit more than she would like. That's gonna be a pretty simple approach, I believe. But not really a chance for the birdie. And Hanna also. Nice looking angle, also kind of a little bit inside, challenging some of those trees. Those trees are really the main obstacle on this hole. Quite often do we see people hitting them, as we did right now. But Hanna able to just pitch it up under the basket. Let's see if Ida gives it a bit of a run. Not really. This was right about middle of the pack as far as difficulty. 9th most difficult hole. And Heidi with the big miss. Leading by 1 stroke, she's gonna lose that stroke to Silva, almost undoubtedly, as Silva is parked. And still might have a difficult putt left. That looked like just a late release, pulling it to the right. As Ida gets her par. And Heidi, this is now mentally a very tough putt. After missing it to the right, almost a similar distance. And you can see she was a little bit hesitant there. Heidi is coming off from a 2nd place finish at the European Open. And oh no! What are we seeing right now as Hanna has also pulled it to the right. Wow, very surprising, 2 misses there from the card. But as I was saying, Heidi coming straight off from the European Open, where one thing that she says helped her to her 2nd place finish was good putting. So very surprising there, as we see Silva getting that stroke. And it's a tied game. I'm sure Heidi didn't expect it to be tied this fast. Hopefully never, but definitely not this fast. as we're moving to a couple of shorter holes on the course. This is the easiest hole on the course, hole 8, only 71 meters. Best shot here is either just a dead straight shot, or if you want to open up the fairway to the maximum, you can go for a bit of a flex shot with a slow disc. The flex shot really opens up the gap to its widest. If you want to go for a straight or a pure hyzer shot, it's a little bit tighter. But Silva not really making look very tight. Ace running the hole. Wow, what a great shot. And a great stop by the rock there. Stopping her inside the circle, even after having a lot of speed on the disc. Heidi trying to match, but this is early left. Almost no chance for the birdie there. The ceiling for that angle is so low that I believe she doesn't have a chance to run the putt. Ida here, hitting some stuff early on the right side, kicking left. Also gonna be a difficult scramble. She still has a clean scorecard, so would love to get that par save, stay bogey free. Hanna also kind of fading to the left. Have to give a quick shout out to Hjalmar Fredriksson from the MPO side, who got the ace on this one in the final round. But enough of that, as we see Ida there. Probably gonna have to settle for the bogey if she gets up and down from here. Oh no, and she has kicked outside the circle. That's gonna be a long putt for the par. Let's see if Heidi can actually run this. Bit of a half run there, not really wanting to challenge the ceiling, not leave yourself a long putt for the par. And Hanna pitching up under the basket. So Ida, this is a long putt for the bogey. And she just takes her medicine, puts it under the basket. That's pretty mature play, even from the, I believe, the 15-year-old player. And Silva here, what a putt. She's gonna take the lead with that one. Going 3 straight birdies. Compared to Heidi, going 3 straight pars on the same holes. So Heidi has been losing 3 strokes in the last 3 holes. Not quite what she was looking for. Definitely not what she was hoping to happen. As Silva is kind of setting her up for a hot round, possibly even a hot round of the tournament. Moving on to another very short hole, but a pretty tricky hole. Especially if the wind picks up. I believe today there was a slight left to right wind on this hole. Not super windy, but a little bit windy. Pushing the disc more to the right. It's an island hole, you have to be inside of this. You have to be on the island on the drive if you want to stay there and have a putt for your birdie. If not, you're gonna go to the drop zone. Silva here. Very good angle, but she has just completely flown over the island. Wow, that's a pretty big mistake. The island is big on this one. It's not really one you want to miss. It's way more than 10 meters on each side of the basket, as Heidi puts it a little bit low, I believe skipping off the edge of the island. She's gonna be parked for the birdie, as Silva is having a long putt for the par. And Hanna here, going for the more unconventional hyzer route, working out pretty well though. She's well within putting distance there. And Ida looking to do the same. There's a couple of trees you have to miss late in the flight with this line. Ida has not missed all of them. It's a bit of a riskier line to take, as you can't really aim the hyzer to miss all of those trees. It's very difficult to know what time you need to fade left. But Silva here, for the par, almost makes it. And looks like Silva, right after gaining that one-stroke lead, is gonna have to give it back to Heidi. Wow, Ida with a really good run there. Ida has a very good line on her putts. I like her release. I like the spin. I like the nose angle. Hanna there. Good birdie. Catching the bottom pocket of the basket and actually having a pretty decent front nine of even par. Only one bogey and one birdie to manage that. But Heidi here. Very important putt. And she gets it. Well done. Good birdie in a big situation. This hole was actually playing surprisingly difficult. Even though it's a very short hole and the island is pretty big, it was playing as the third most difficult hole on the course. Averaging 0.7 strokes above par. And only 2 birdies on the field. So nobody outside our card actually got the birdie. Wow, that was a lot of changes in the lead. Thank you guys for watching. Let's take a look at that top 10. We know the leading situation, Heidi leading 1 stroke over Silva. After that, Jenni Karppinen making a bit of a run, overtaking Hanna Jansson for that 3rd spot, and also Amanda Lennartsson shooting under par for the front 9. You can see the front 9 is already separating the best from the rest, as the best players are shooting even or better. It's gonna be an exciting battle for the win on the back 9. Hope to see you guys there. If you want to support us, give us a comment, give us a like, even a subscribe. Or there's also the Patreon available. Not many members there yet, but you can be one of them if you like MDG Media's production. Thank you guys for watching. My name was Elias Luukkonen and see you guys on the back 9.